You've spent years telling yourself that overthinking is your curse, an endless tangle of doubts, analyses, and what-ifs that paralyze every step. But what if the very complexity you blame for inaction is also the greatest instrument you possess? Tonight, you'll discover how to transmute your labyrinth of thought into a laboratory of transformation and unlock capabilities you never knew you had. Consider the mind as a grand cathedral. Each pillar a belief, each arch a pattern of reasoning, each stained glass window a vivid memory. Over time, doubt and hesitation have piled ash on those windows, dulling their light. You look at your own intellect and see only clutter, slippery pathways of self-critique, echoing chambers of indecision, hidden alcoves of fear. Yet the same architecture can amplify revelation, focus willpower, and channel deep intuition. Your mental complexity is not an obstacle to overcome. It is a vault of hidden keys. First, let's recognize the evidence of your mind's potency. Think of every hour you've spent analyzing a problem, every detail you parsed, every angle you explored. Most people simply act or retreat. You alone have cultivated a habit of deep inspection. That practice has armed you with uncanny subtlety. You sense contradictions before they emerge, you spot nuances others miss, you craft arguments with surgical precision. Those are not weaknesses, they are superpowers waiting to be deployed. Now, to harness that power, you must repurpose your analytical drive. It's no longer enough to examine why you hesitate. You must channel that scrutiny into a systematic blueprint for action. Here is your three-stage process. 1. Map your cognitive terrain. Tonight, grab a blank sheet of paper and draw the outline of your mind as if it were a landscape. Mark the high hills, areas where your confidence peaks, the deep valleys, topics that trigger paralyzing doubt, the winding rivers, chains of thought that loop endlessly without resolution. Label each region: perfectionism, fear of failure, past guilt, existential worry, creative spark, analytical clarity. This map does not judge. It merely makes visible what lives in your subconscious. By externalizing your thought patterns, you step back from them. You stop being lost in the labyrinth and become its cartographer. 2. Establish strategic outposts. With your map in hand, choose 3 zones you want to conquer first, places where your power can yield immediate results. Perhaps your perfectionism prevents you from finishing projects. Perhaps your existential worry keeps you stuck in indecision. Perhaps your creative spark lies dormant beneath layers of routine. For each zone, set a small, measurable mission. Today I will complete a rough draft without revising it. I will decide on one course of action and execute it by midnight. I will spend 20 minutes sketching an idea without judgment. Treat each mission as a base camp. You may stumble on the ascent, but each attempt builds acclimatization. You become familiar with the terrain instead of being surprised by its difficulties. 3. Activate cognitive feedback loops. Once you establish outposts, you need real-time feedback to refine your approach. For each mission, choose one straightforward metric: word count written, decision made, minutes sketched. Record the result immediately. If you wrote 250 words when your goal was 500, note it and reflect. What kept me from writing more? Was it a momentary doubt or a structural block? If you hesitated before action, ask, what competing thought withheld my commitment? Then adjust your next mission. Shorten the time block, eliminate a distraction, or set an even smaller sub-goal. This feedback loop turns passive thinking, where doubts swirl unseen, into active experimentation. Every cycle of mission, measurement, and reflection retools your mind's machinery. Beyond these stages, there's a deeper discipline. Contextualize your cognition within creative synthesis. Analytical prowess alone can calcify into endless critique. You must bridge it to generative insight. Here's how. Curate a thought journal. Each night, distill the day's most persistent thought pattern into a single provocative question. Write it at the top of a page, no more than 10 words. Then free write for 5 minutes, allowing associations to flow. Do not censor. This ritual transforms analysis into creative ideation. Engage in symbolic play. Sketch abstract shapes or play short riffs on an instrument, letting your subconscious translate analytical themes into metaphorical images or sounds. These symbolic sparks often illuminate solutions that logic alone cannot reach. Discuss with a trusted reflector. Find one person who will listen without judgment, ask incisive questions, and mirror back your ideas. Verbalizing your thoughts aloud clarifies hidden assumptions and reveals blind spots your inner critic overlooks. Over the coming weeks, integrate these practices into your routine. Morning mapping sessions, midday mission check-ins, evening thought journals. Notice how the map of your mind evolves. Hills of confidence rise, valleys of doubt shrink, rivers of looping thought become canals directing creative flow. Complexity gives way to clarity. Indecision yields to decisive insight. Ultimately, unlocking the power of your mind means moving from unconscious analysis, where thought patterns run like machinery in the basement of your psyche, to conscious craftsmanship, where you direct each cog, each gear, each lever. You become not a passive thinker besieged by rumination, but a master architect building cathedrals of possibility from the very materials that once imprisoned you. Tomorrow, when you confront a challenge, professional, personal, creative, pause for a moment. Close your eyes and trace the outline of your mental landscape. Recall the map you drew. Identify the nearest outpost. Activate your feedback loop. Then step forward with intention, knowing every nuance of your mind is now on your side. Your cathedral of thought stands ready. Light the torches of deliberate action, and watch the stained glass windows blaze with the insights you've long concealed. You are no longer trapped by complexity, you are propelled by it,